Wonderful good morning. This is an SF Live breaking news special. My name is Kai Hoffman. I'm the junior mining guy on Twitter, or the CEO of Soar Financial Group. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to this breaking news special. This is an SF Live breaking news special.
I gotta mute my
name is
YouTube
Kai
the
Hoffman.
replay.
I'm the junior mining guy on Twitter, or the CEO of Soar. Okay, perfect. That's why it's improvised. We're removing the studios and in downtown Vancouver, and I'm here at an improvised home office. But the news was too good to pass this up, so I set up at 5 a.m. this morning. Set up the camera and the lights and everything so I could get Philippe here on and discuss the major news. And we're going to talk with him about the acquisition they made this morning, or yesterday actually. They announced the LOI with O3 Mining, and we're going to get to the nitty gritty, and Phil is going to spill the beans on why, how, if, when, and all the good stuff. And but before I switch over to my guest, and let me remind you to follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't be shy about it. Leave a comment as well. We want to hear from you. Now, Philippe, wonderful good morning. I'm sure it's been a busy one. Thanks for joining us for this breaking news special.
Hello, Kai.
It is great to see you. This is probably the most important breaking news special we've done in the last couple of years. Probably one of the biggest news releases we had to discuss here on the program. Thanks for making it. Thanks for working with us here. Tell us all about it. Like you're buying Chellas Gold Mines from O3 Mining. What's the rationale?
Well, the rationale is fundamentally geology has no boundaries, and mineralized zones don't stop at property boundaries. And Chimo, as you know, we've been drilling this since 2017. We obviously brought it from 0 to 2 million ounces. It was growing, and it can continue to grow at depth. And we saw that it could continue east and west. And we had neighbors. Just as an anecdote here, this discussion with O3 Mining actually started in November at the Dutch Gold Mess that you had in Frankfurt. And it's been a 3-month back and forth. And the rationale, as you say, is quite simple. We're eliminating the boundaries. We're therefore offering all the possibility of growing the resource base at Chimo via the continued exploration on the immediate resources that are present already on East Cadillac. That's the short-term business plan, and then it continues to grow as we explore regionally. And then the third rationale is obviously it's now we have a lot of room to build and to construct this thing if it came to that. But additionally, this becomes a platform for further consolidation in the camp. So we've actually shifted gears, and obviously, you may have guessed it, we are now a much better M&A acquisition target.
Sure, like just looking at the land package, I think it's figure 1 in your press release. It's kind of obvious, like, and Paradigm phrased it quite well in the research report, from postage stamp to major land position, right? Can you give us some of the numbers behind that as well? Like, it's always impressive to hear those.
Well, let's start with Paradigm's comment. A postage stamp. If you have a stamp but no envelope, well, and if you have an envelope and no stamp, well, if you have the envelope and the stamp, well, then you're going someplace. So the numbers here are: we have 2 million ounces in indicated and inferred category within 500 meters of existing underground infrastructure. On the O3 ground, immediately to the east and to the west, there are 4 known deposits: the Simon West, the Nordo, the Nordo West, and then there's also the Big Bend area. Immediately to the east of the property, the Nordo West deposit has, as demonstrated in one of their 43-101s, I think roughly 300,000 ounces. But that is really shallow. And obviously, there's been no drilling in the recent past at the likes of what we've done on Chimo. So you can just imagine if we rolled up our sleeves and started drilling on that boundary area, how much ounces we're going to deliver in the near future. But more importantly, if you remember, in November, we launched a PEA process. And we were getting feedback from the engineers saying, look, if this could significantly be expanded, when you add ounces shallow and laterally, the project is, well, it's already economically feasible, but the project actually tips, and it's exponential. It's not linear, because shallow lateral ounces rack up a lot of bonus points as compared to deeper ounces. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next few months, is designing and engineering a program to rapidly assess how this is going to impact the project moving forward. And like I say, that's only very local to the Chimo mine and the East Cadillac zones area. But then this property has 30-kilometer strike length of the Larder Lake Cadillac Fault, and we know what that's all about.
Yeah. So run us a bit through the timeline as well. This is only an LOI. It's not a purchase agreement or anything. You're still running through some of the due diligence, trying to put some check marks on it. Have the terms been agreed on, and what is the timeline for closing the transaction?
I'm not at liberty to say that, but I mean, both parties are agree to agree. And I think what another very important point here is our partnership with O3 Mining, Jose's team. And listen, they didn't want cash. They wanted a significant shareholder position in Cartier Resources because they realize, I believe, the quality of Chimo and the quality of their own assets, that if you consolidate this, you could re-rate what's going on at Chimo, the Chimo mine project, the consolidated project. And that's where they stand to gain. Now, if you've read the press release carefully, you'll also see that we're creating a team, a committee to work together. And, this also gives Cartier an access to the Osisko Group network, because it's O3 Mining, but O3 Mining is part of the Osisko Group. So not only do we have Agnico on board, but we also have O3 Mining, the Caisse de Depot. I think the Cartier story is just going to get better and better with time.
Yeah, a couple of things you mentioned I do quickly want to follow up on is Agnico Eagle. You said they're on board. Are they on board with the transaction? Have you gotten any feedback from them? Are they aware?
Well, they obviously support this, and actually, the many other companies that we met have always commented to the fact that they would say, Phil, if you consolidated this ground, this would actually trigger a lot more interest by themselves and other people. So listen, this is being supported by a lot of people. We're just going to get this across the finish line, knock on wood. And so March is going to be a big month for us. And then moving forward from that is going to be designing and advancing the project. The name of the game here is, this obviously makes us even more relevant than we were. A junior explorer needs to find gold, needs to fill up that pipeline for the senior producers. We had done that. Now, by consolidating, we're even more relevant. We have even more wiggle room to be more ambitious. So all in all, this is a transformative deal, and we're very happy with it.
One last question I do have to ask is
Sure.
the PEA. That you were in the process of producing that. Now, how does the transaction change that? Of course, timeline is one thing. Like it was supposed to come out right around this time, actually, I think, or March-ish, right? How does that change the timeline for the PEA? You're still working on a PEA right now? Is that on halt? Like, can you just give us some updates on that?
Well, those consultants continue to work. They will obviously tell us very rapidly how this impacts their work and what are their suggestions and recommendations. I would imagine that they would say, look, you've added a few more pieces to the puzzle here. It just gets better. And they're going to come up with their proposal. And the people that we've hired to oversee the process are going to have their recommendations. I'll have something clear on that as the deal closes.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I do have some more questions, but they're all hypotheticals at this point, and we have to wait till the deal closes. Hypothetically, like let's assume the deal closes in a month. What are some of the next steps? Like, what is the first thing that you'll attack? Actually, what's the plan of attack after the deal closes?
Well, for us, it's always business as usual. So the plan of attack is our team has already started to look. Obviously, you may have guessed that our team has already looked at the mineralization on East Cadillac side. We've integrated that data to our database. So they're hard at work engineering a program that will rapidly aim to expand the resources. That's the easiest part, right? Because we know the lay of the ground, we know the contractors, so it's business as usual. And obviously, the interest that this consolidation will create in it with the senior producers or any incoming person or group in Val-d'Or, well, we're going to be more ready than ever to attend to their interests. So that's it, and as time goes, we'll adapt.
Fantastic. Philippe, I think this is a deal where 1 + 1 = 3. We've seen O3 do the deal with Moneta Porcupine
Absolutely.
back in the day. Now it's Moneta Gold. I
Yep.
think that's a huge value add for the company. Congratulations on taking it this far. And
Everybody wins here. The shareholders, O3, the industry as a whole, because now we've given ourselves the capacity to build and grow. So this is exciting times for us in the next few months, and I'm hoping we'll be doing more of these interviews, regularly.
yeah, fantastic. Yeah, next one definitely be on deal closure. So let's get on that and put that in the calendar, Philippe.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us this morning. I think this was
Thank
a
you.
great introduction to the deal. We'll obviously, once the deal closes, we'll have way more for you on terms of terms and next steps, budgets, all of that good stuff. Once that actually happens, is finalized. It's still pending. Obviously, it's only an LOI, so there's still a bit of uncertainty. But usually one doesn't enter an LOI if there is no intention to close it, obviously. But we'll see. Things do happen. We've seen it happen not too far away from you, Philippe, actually. So
And we'll see how the market reacts. That all of that has impact.
fantastic. Philippe, thanks so much. Good luck. I'm sure you'll get a lot of calls today. I hope the brokers keep ringing. We've already seen Paradigm come up with an update. And all the best, Philippe. And we'll catch up again very soon. And thanks for listening in. Thanks for tuning in. This was an SF Live breaking news special from our improvised home office studio. And we had to do it. Big news from Philippe Cloutier and Cartier Resources yesterday after market, or actually right before market close. Stock was halted at the time. And follow us, hit the like button as well. If you're a shareholder of Cartier, definitely hit the like button, because this will make sure that the video will be seen by more investors like you. And maybe you can spread the story and spread the love. Much appreciated. And we'll be back with